This is the Windone E2, and if you don't know about the company Windone, I don't blame you because they're a very new e-bike company trying to make it out there on the e-bike market. When they offered to send me one of their e-bikes to review for them, I accepted enthusiastically. And doing so led me to the point where I was unboxing my very own Windone E2 within just a few days. Upon arrival, something was telling me that this was going to be one of the unboxings of all time. And boy was I right. Now to say this was a well-packaged bike would be an understatement. This thing was wrapped in foam from head to toe. The simple process of removing foam from this bike's frame took me about 25 minutes. And then the next 25 minutes was spent assembling this bike. I made sure that all of the essential bolts were nice and hand tightened because you don't want this thing to be too safe. And just about 50 minutes after receiving my new bike, I was ready to get it on the road. I also wanted to mention that this bike comes with a nice colorful instruction manual, a toolkit for assembly which actually includes some very high quality tools, a nice little foot pump, and a bell. And I thought this would be a good place to mention that the best place to get yours is down in the description below this video. The one thing you want to ask yourself about any e-bike is why would somebody buy this over all of the other e-bikes that there are on the market? Because there's so many different brands, so many different e-bikes, so many different models. Why would somebody buy this Windone E2 over all of the other bikes? And to me, it's obvious. The reason this bike is interesting is because of its off-road frame. But is it just for looks or is it actually functional? Well, no need to worry because I went ahead and put this bike to the test. And what I found out about this bike's true off-road capabilities was interesting to say the least, and you're going to want to see what I have to say about it. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to go ahead, hit that like button, leave a nice comment down below, most importantly, subscribe because it makes doing these videos worth it for me, and let's get right into it.
Alright guys, so we are off on this bike. I replaced the handlebars with some 3-inch risers, so the seating position's a lot more comfortable. If I haven't already mentioned, the stock bars that come with this bike are super low profile, and they put you in this super kind of low down aggressive position, and it's just not comfortable for anybody over like, I don't know, 5'4". So yeah, I got these new bars on, already feeling a lot better. I'm gonna take this thing, rip it on some of these trails out here on this mesa. Looking to have some fun here. I'm gonna go down this jump. We'll go over this. Whee! Oh god. Oh god. I didn't tighten up my handlebars enough. Alright, once again, syncing up these cameras here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give that little jump another try. Ooh. Woo! Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm feeling better about this thing. One setback here with this bike though has to be the front suspension a little bit. I think it's good, right? It's not the worst thing in the world, but what happens is there's nothing stopping it from snapping back into position, right? So as soon as you get up in the air, you know, it's spring loaded and it just snaps back immediately. A lot of suspension has some sort of dampening which stops it from doing that, but I don't think this suspension necessarily has that. Another thing I kind of noticed is, although the power is kind of good for, you know, trails like this, I don't think it's powerful enough for really much more extreme off-roading. They're putting this sort of heavy-duty kind of motorcycle-like frame on this e-bike, but they're just not giving it the power for it really to do the things that it should be able to do. And I know they can add more power to their bikes, right? Because they have another bike which supposedly has twice the power of this bike. So I'm wondering why Windone doesn't just put more power on this bike. Like they have it on another bike. If they double the power of this bike, right, it would be so much better for off-roading. Like you'd be able to actually like get up some hills and stuff and like, you know, do all that. But right now I feel like it's limited to stuff like this, and for this it's nice, but that's a serious recommendation I have for them. Double this thing's power. But here we go, we're picking up some speed on this straight here. Another thing I like to mention is I actually removed the pedal assist, because what happens here, you're going on these trails, you really can't cut off the power when you want to with the pedal assist, because you know you're relying on those pedals as supports for your feet. So when you just barely press on that pedal assist, it engages the motor when you don't want it to, and it can be really dangerous. It would be nice just to be able to turn on when I want it and turn it off when I don't want it. Okay, getting some good speed here. Again, this is not something I'd be able to do with the pedal assist engaged, because at points like this where I'm trying to cut off that motor power, where I'm trying to cut off motor to the power, Jesus, where I'm trying to cut off power to the motor just engages. Okay, and I can hear the kickstand getting a little bit beaten up by the surrounding grassy terrain. But man, I mean, I'm really enjoying this bike actually. Especially now that I've replaced those handlebars. And again, I can't stress how much a good set of handlebars that really fits your body is gonna help you. These are 3-inch risers, by the way. I just got them on Amazon. I'll put a link down below this video to where you can get them. I'm 6'2", 6'3"-ish, so that should give you some reference. It's sort of feeling more like my old Sur-Ron. I used to have a Sur-Ron, same black color, same handlebars, and it's sort of feeling like that sort of geometry. Of course, it has pedals and not pegs. I may do some modifications to this bike to make it faster, because I do have the necessary equipment to do that, and then put some pegs on this thing, and I feel like it would almost be sort of like a budget Sur-Ron, right? If I upgrade this thing. I know right now they're selling them for $8.99, which is incredibly cheap, so that's for sure a steal. Like, I would, if I was looking at getting an off-road e-bike, I would certainly buy it for that. I know the end price is $15.99, which is, you know, I think it's still a good price for this. What do I think they need to improve? I think they need to improve that front suspension. The fact that it snaps back immediately is just a little bit annoying when it comes to off-roading. Like, it can throw you off because it pulls the bike back down when it snaps back. Another thing would probably definitely be the power, like I mentioned earlier. They should make this thing twice as powerful. It would make sense if maybe it wasn't marketed as an off-road bike, but because it is, right, it makes it hard with this power level to really do too much. Like, if I wanted to go up this hill like super fast and maybe, you know, have some fun with it, cutting some corners, right, it's just going to be difficult. And I know they can add more power to this bike because they have another bike that has a 1,000-watt motor. Pretty sure this is 500 watts. So Windone, please make a version of this bike that's just more powerful. So far the range hasn't been too bad. It is I think it's a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery, and man, yeah, I'm enjoying this thing. I'm gonna go ahead, rip this thing around some more, and I'm gonna show you guys what this thing can do. Oh, that's a that's a lot scarier. Ah, I don't know, guys. No way. Guys, it is a lot scarier than it looks. I don't know, 15 feet high, and it's more than straight down. Another thing I'd like to mention about this bike, right, on top of adding more power or more speed in general, just try to gear it towards maybe a little bit more low-end acceleration, right? It doesn't matter so much to me if it's a little bit slower. Like, I wouldn't care if this thing went, you know, 23 miles per hour, right, as opposed to the 28 that it's advertised to go. They do have the controller under the seat, and it's itty bitty, by the way. It's very small. You know, it's like the same controller that you might expect on an e-scooter, right, size wise. And I just found that interesting because it's such a big space to put a controller. This whole bike is like set up to have bigger electronics, just because it's sort of a larger e-bike, right, that has very large gaps for the electronics and where you put things, right? But it just has sort of itty-bitty components, and I'm thinking, like, okay, are they expecting people to mod this thing or what, right? Because it's definitely what I'm going to be doing. The frame is perfect for that. Huge thanks to Windone for sending me this bike. They really didn't have to. Oh god, there's naked people down there. They really didn't have to, but they did. Alright, let's pick up some speed here. These are famous cliffs. Ooh. Yeah, buddy.
Anyways, this was a pretty epic ride for me, which really allowed me to appreciate all of the features that this bike has. So again, yeah, big thank you to Windone for sending this thing in. They did not have to do that, but they pulled through, sent this thing to me so I can get this video out to you guys. So again, big thank you. Go ahead and get yours down in the description below. I'm pretty sure they're on sale right now for like $8.99, so pretty much half off. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, so make sure to go ahead and get yours quick. And if you haven't already, of course, hit that like button, leave a nice comment down below, most importantly subscribe, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Later.